What up, y'all? It is Comic Kid 84 coming at you with a special edition video, special bulletin video of my picks and my thoughts on who the next Avengers team should be in the MCU. Now, there's going to be some Endgame spoilers in this video. I don't know if that's still a thing, if you still have to warn about that, but I would think if you wanted to see it, you would have seen it, right? So, yes, we're going to address the way that Endgame left us off a little bit, but more so, I'm going to dig into where do we go from here. I'm sure there's going to be another Avengers movie eventually, and yeah, there's got to be a new team because it was RIP for a few of our founding Avengers members over in Endgame. So, without further ado, let me just get into it. Now, we know Iron Man, dead. Scarlet Witch, dead. Captain America, super old. Not on the team. So, that's 3 of the 6 founding members. So, we got a big team shakeup here. First up on my new list. So, there were 6 original members of the Avengers in the first movie, and I tried to keep it to 6, but I ended up with 7. Okay? Number 1, Thor. OG member of the Avengers. I do feel like we do need to keep some of that original founding team from the first Avengers movie moving forward, just to keep, a solid foundation to the team. And it's got to be Thor. That dude Chris Hemsworth is doing a good job with the character. We had the unworthy Thor, the fat let himself go Thor in Endgame. Obviously, I think that was fine for that movie. I actually like that. I'm not interested in seeing that continue with him, but I don't think that's the case. I want to see basically a return to form of Thor, powerful. He's the heavy hitter on the team, so we need him on there, and it'll be cool to see. That's the interesting thing about these movies going on so long. We get to see these character arcs with these guys. We had the original Thor. Then he started to get more comedic in Ragnarok. The fat comedic unworthy Thor, and then we get to I'm hoping we can see him round back out to the OG powerful Thor once again. So I think that's cool when you get to show progress of a character over time. Anyway, OG Thor needs to be on the team, and he's my first pick. Second pick, the Hulk. My man, the Hulk, has got to be on the team. The actor whose name escapes me, whatever, you know who I'm talking about, he's killing it. That guy is a great Banner. And, we got a new version of the Hulk in Endgame, Professor Hulk. And I thought that was cool. I thought that was interesting. Now, in the next Avengers movie, I would not want to see more of that same thing. I think, like I said about the Thor character, seeing character arcs and seeing them evolve over time, I would like to see in the next film that the wheels are starting to fall off of that Professor Hulk. He was very happy and content during that Endgame movie with, the whole Hulk aspect of himself. But I think it'd be interesting to still have him be Professor Hulk, but he's not able to keep the savagery in check. And I think that would be an interesting look for him in the next Avengers movie, and have him start to, not able to keep his cool and keep things under control the way he has in the past. I think that'd be interesting. Also, what I would have done in this movie by sometime at the end of the movie is have the Hulk get killed, dead, right? We need to kill the Hulk in this movie so that we can set ourselves up for finally a solo Hulk movie with Mark Ruffalo, that's his name, a Mark Ruffalo solo movie called Immortal Hulk. That's right, y'all. Let's kill the Hulk in Avengers 5, and then let's do the Immortal Hulk run. The thing's been a hit. I think it's a great original story for the Hulk. That's just Hulk-centric. It's all about him. That'd be a really cool, that'd be a really nice angle for a solo Hulk movie. So that's what I would like to see happen with the Hulk moving forward. And he's, definitely on the team. Bang. Number 3, underutilized character. And one that I think has potential is the Wasp. Wasp is like the original leader of the Avengers, if I'm not mistaken. I think she's the first leader of the Avengers. So Wasp gets respect in the Avengers lore, and I think Evangeline Lilly, the actor that they have playing her, does a pretty good job. I don't think they gave her much to work with. There's not a ton of depth to her character, so I'd like to see them put a little more, character development into our girl, the Wasp. And yeah, let's get her in the mix. Maybe take more of I don't know if I'd make her the leader of this team. I think that'd be too much of a jump for her character, but I definitely like to, see her take charge and be an important part of the team separate from Ant-Man. So yeah, Wasp coming in at number 3. Number 4. Okay, Scott Lang, Ant-Man, technically. Now, however, I want to see Giant Man, okay? And I think that would be cool, especially if Wasp is on the team, because I like the idea of having Wasp and Scott Lang on the same team. Now, but I think I would lean into the Giant Man angle more, because Giant Man was like a huge part of the original Avengers run in some of those early Avengers books. So Giant Man's a great character. We've seen him use the technology and get giant. However they want to write that as to why, he's doing the growth thing more so than the shrinking thing. I mean, I don't know if I could see them taking the ability away from him, that he can shrink down, but whatever. Let's make him Giant Man. I also recognize that Scott Lang is not Giant Man and was never Giant Man, as far as I know. It's a Hank Pym thing. But hey, this is the MCU. It's a different ball game, and sometimes you gotta work with what you got. So let's make Paul Rudd Giant Man, because that dude is a great actor. He's got star power, and I'm a fan. Let's get Giant Man on the team. Bang. Number 5. Black Panther. Black Panther would probably might be the leader of the team. I think we need him because he will be able to take the place of Tony Stark in a way as far as resources go. Let's not sleep that Stark Industries, Stark Tower, whenever they needed to go to a lab or use any kind of technology, they would just hit up my man Tony Stark because he had all those bases covered. Avengers need funding. Otherwise, they're going to be government shills, and we don't want that. That's what Civil War was about. So we want them to be their own sovereign team, and they need funds, baby. And Black Panther is ballin'. Wakanda's a very rich country. So I think that'd be cool. And we can have, the supporting characters like Shuri in the mix, as well as our, a technology guru of the team. So I think that would be a wise move. Black Panther is definitely a badass character, and I could see him being an Avenger. So that's that pick. Bang. Next up, Captain Marvel. Okay. This pick I was on the fence about, because part of me wants to say she's a galactic character and just keep her in space. And why would she even want to be part of the Avengers anyway? Because she was so disinterested in anything that had to do with Earth during the movies that we've seen her in so far. And I personally am not a fan of the character. I'm not big on Captain Marvel in the comics, but there's nothing necessarily wrong with her. But, I'm in the camp of Brie Larson is no bueno as Captain Marvel. So there's that. So my inclination was to say, beat it, Brie. We don't want you on the team. But you know what? At the end of the day, now that my initial reaction to that movie is past, and I've had time to think about it, I want these movies to succeed. And I want Captain Marvel movies to succeed. I want them to be good. I don't want any MCU movies to suck and be a movie that I hate on. That's not cool. That's not a good time for me. So let's try to fix Captain Marvel, okay? And here's how we do it. I felt like in Endgame, she seems standoffish to the Avengers. Like, I've heard some people theorize Captain Marvel's going to be the next leader of the Avengers. I do not see how you can bridge that gap from where we left off with her, because she has no relationship with the existing Avengers. I feel like she kind of looks down on them a little bit, just like they're not important. There's definitely no real emotional connection to any of these characters. She built zero bond with anybody in Endgame. And the one character on Earth that should care about, Nick Fury, even them, I don't feel like she really cares about Nick Fury either. So let's use that to our advantage. Let's use what Brie Larson has going on here to make a story that Captain Marvel kind of has to get humbled a little bit, and have her be in the Avengers movie, this next Avengers team that she has to help out, but have them all start off on the wrong foot, that the Avengers don't like Captain Marvel, and she's not really big on the Avengers either, and she's standoffish and she's cold and all that stuff. And let's have that be part of her story arc, of have her warm up to the team and understand that Earth is a special place and she should care about what's going on there, even though she has like 1,000 other planets to take care of, and like, dude, I'm so busy right now, I'm gonna like ghost you for a while kind of vibe she was putting out. Let's make her understand Earth's Mightiest Heroes is a team that you want to be on. And I also think it's important to have her on the team because she'll be a connection to the cosmic universe. So it's cool whenever we need to incorporate any of these Galactus characters. She can kind of be there to either report in about cosmic events or at least have knowledge of it. So I'm gonna go with Captain Marvel in an effort to patch things up, and let's make it a good movie. Let's try to fix her character and do the damn thing. Let's try to make it work. So boom, Captain Marvel, bang. My last pick is a new character. That's right. I wanted to at least introduce one brand new Avenger for the new team. And a couple people came to mind, there's like some rumors of the Black Knight being a character that they were considering developing, which might be fun. They could probably pull it off, but I said nah. My closest runner-up, second to the person that I'm going to name, was Hercules. I think Hercules has a lot of potential to be a fun character, and have Hercules and Thor have a really interesting dynamic, like a rivalry with each other. I think that would be funny to have, because Thor's like the most powerful guy, and it'd be cool. It'd be funny to have Hercules kind of be cooler than Thor, and the same way that Star-Lord looks at Thor as kind of jealous and kind of feels like he's the cool one. It'd be nice to have Thor get some of that same medicine from Hercules, and I think that could be fun. But I didn't go with Hercules either. My pick would be none other than Wonder Man. Now, I like Wonder Man. I'm a big fan of the Wonder Man character. When I started reading some Avengers books, he was in there, West Coast Avengers particularly. and I always think of him as an Avenger. And I think he would just be like a really fun character, especially if you got the right actor. Now, the thing about Wonder Man is you'd have to retcon some of his origin in his story, because he's just got like a wild history and in the comics, you know, where he's a villain in the beginning. He has like this ionic energy. He died a bunch of times. He worked for Ultron. There's a lot going on there. Now, my favorite version of Wonder Man was Hollywood stuntman Wonder Man. That's the funnest version of the character for me. And I think that would be a really unique type of character to put in there. Because we haven't seen that really in any movies, any of these comic book movies yet that I know of. Is like a superhero person with powers, and with those powers they're choosing to be like an action star in movies and be like a stuntman. I think that has potential to be really funny. You know, he does have some cosmic roots, if I'm not mistaken, so he can still kind of get into that world. Granted, there'll have to be some writing and retconning done, but I think the end product that we're left with would be a pretty cool addition to the team. I know this guy was rumored to be potentially playing him. I think he was in Guardians or something. I don't know if that guy's necessarily the pick. I think you want to go for a little bit more star power with a character like this, because if you're going to do a new character, you know, and he's not super well known, probably want to go with kind of a more A-list actor to pull it off, just to make the audience warm up to them. So that's my team right here: Thor, Hulk, Wasp, Giant Man, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, and Wonder Man. The Avengers, the new team. Bow. You'll notice I left out Doctor Strange. Aside from me not being a big fan of that Doctor Strange character, the Cumberbatch Doctor Strange guy, I still think that Doctor Strange wouldn't be... He doesn't seem like he'd be too interested in being an Avenger. And I think he's more suited to be in his own world of the mystic happenings and just be doing his own thing. Call upon him if needed or something for a big battle, but him being like a core member of the Avengers, I can't see him being bothered with it. Falcon, Bucky. Again, I would keep them as just kind of supporting role type characters. You know, Falcon, we'll see what happens with him. I hope he doesn't straight up take the mantle of Captain America and call himself Captain America. I think at most I would like to see Falcon, maybe a little red, white, and blue kind of costume design on his armor, and have him just use the shield, but still be Falcon and not call himself Captain America. So I think they're producing a show with Falcon and Bucky, so let's have him off doing his thing. Call you if we need you. Same thing with Hawkeye. Go live with your family, do your thing, call you. I got your number, bro. I'll call you if I need you. And same for Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch, which really came close to making the list, because I do think she's an interesting Avenger. I think the best bet for that character is to hold off and explore her more when the X-Men come into the fold as Magneto's daughter. I think that's the best angle for her, and let's put her on ice until we can get Magneto in the mix and explore her character that way, right? Boom. One last thing. Who they gonna fight? Who's the villain gonna be of this Avengers 5 movie, comic head? They gotta fight somebody. This is true. And it's not a particularly easy question, because the three coolest villains that come to mind. One is Kang the Conqueror, right? He's one that a lot of people are speculating is the clear pick for the next villain, because he's a time travel guy. But I think that's actually the main reason why he won't get picked, or shouldn't get picked anyway, because that would mean Endgame was a freaking time travel movie for like a big chunk of it. And to make the very next Avengers movie, granted I'm sure it'll be years down the road, and we'd have movies in between, but to make the next Avengers movie another time travel centric film would feel repetitive to me. So I would actually hope that they don't do the Kang thing, because I don't want to see Avengers in time again. We just did that. So Kang's off the list. Doctor Doom and Galactus are the next two most badass Marvel villains, because you need them to be powerful villains too, because that's why it takes a whole team to link up and fight them. Now, the thing about those two characters is it almost feels like a disservice to use them without the Fantastic Four around, right? Galactus, who's definitely the character that I would love to see most in the movies, as soon as possible, I still think should not be the guy. I think that needs to be, down the road, and Fantastic Four needs to be a part of it, but I think a Galactus story should include a big cast of the Marvel Universe with a firmly established Fantastic Four. So, sad to say, Galactus needs to be pushed off a little bit, because I want that to maybe even just be a Fantastic Four movie, honestly. Galactus should be a Fantastic Four movie with cameos from Avengers, not the other way around. Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom, you kind of feel like you need Reed Richards, because Reed Richards is the ultimate foil to Doctor Doom. So my instinct says, don't use Doctor Doom, make him the villain of a Fantastic Four movie. But, nay, you know what? I actually think Doctor Doom should be the villain of this Avengers movie that I'm pitching you. I say Doctor Doom. And the way I think it could be pulled off, because he's such a fascinating character, and he has a whole country, Latveria. He's definitely powerful enough that they would be a problem for the Avengers. We'll figure something out of how we can nullify Captain Marvel, because she's so OP, but trust me, Doom will figure it out. Doom knows all. So, I say you have Doom be the villain, but introduce Reed Richards, and maybe the whole Fantastic Four, but definitely Reed Richards before he gets his powers. And just scientist Reed Richards in this Avengers movie. And that's how I propose we introduce the Fantastic Four. We get Doctor Doom in this as our villain. Reed Richards is in the story, and have him already become a foil to have him build heat with Victor Von Doom even before he gets powers, and introduce him that way. I think that'd be a clever way to introduce the FF. Leave a little post-credit scene, or sprinkle something in the end of the movie to set us up for Fantastic Four. But let's get Reed and Sue at least in that movie, and that way we can still get a little connective tissue with the FF and Doctor Doom. Bang. And I would propose we call this movie Avengers 5 Doomsday. Fire, right? And side note, while I'm movie pitching here, sorry, this video is so long. I always get self-conscious about that, but I hope you're enjoying it. Last thing on my little MCU Phase 5, 4, I don't know what phase we're on, for the Fantastic Four movie, because you might say, hey, you're going to use Doom in Avengers, but what about when you make the Fantastic Four movie? Don't you want to use Doom for that? Not right away. I would actually, when you're thinking of who the villain of the first FF movie should be, it shouldn't be Galactus. That's the sequel, right? We don't want it to be Doom, because we're going to use him in Avengers. Another common pick is Annihilus. I know a lot of people are pumped on Annihilus and speculating that he'll be the guy. I say, nah. I don't really know too much about Annihilus, but he doesn't seem like too interesting of a character to me. and he seems like a generic kind of destroy the world kind of bad guy. I might be ignorant to it. You let me know if Annihilus is this super compelling, interesting character, but I doubt it. My vote goes for Mole Man. That's right. Mole Man needs to be the villain for the first Fantastic Four movie. Don't sleep. Mole Man is, in fact, the first villain that the Fantastic Four ever faced, since he's had his first appearance in Fantastic Four #1. He is their first villain in the comics, and I think that could be really interesting and pretty formidable too. Don't sleep. Mole Man, he dwells in this whole underground world of Subterranea, and he has these mole monsters that he can sick on you. And I think if you got a really charismatic actor to play this Mole Man guy, I think it could be a straight up hit. And it would be a cool first challenge for the Fantastic Four. Who says that they have to save the entire planet from destruction on their first mission? Let's make it a fun movie where these guys get their powers, a family that has to, a family team, and they gotta fight Mole Man. Let's just make it an adventure. I'm having a Mole Man adventure. So that's where I'm at. But then the sequel for sure, The Coming of Galactus and Silver Surfer. What? That'll be the best Marvel movie of all time. In theory, it should be. We'll see. Okay, that's it, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Let me know what you think of these picks. I'm actually really interested on your feedback on this one. So let your boy know. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see some more of these kind of videos, I don't know, let me know. Movie theorizing or movie pitches and stuff, because I definitely got a lot of Batman movie pitches up in the old noggin here, and X-Men. But anyway, hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you dig it, disagree, or not. Comic Kid out. Catch you next time. Peace.